my attention deeper and deeper into that present moment. So much of our day we're ruminating on the past, we're worrying about the future. So these moments of presence are so golden. And of course, by strengthening and reinforcing that on our yoga mat, naturally it just becomes more of a theme that kicks in our normal day. And then all of a sudden we're having a conversation with somebody and we notice that instead of thinking about other things, instead of being distracted by other things, we're really present for what that friend or that loved one has to offer us. Or we're standing in line at the grocery store, the post office. We're stuck in traffic, we're driving our car. The light turns from yellow to red. Instead of getting frustrated, we just come back to our breath. If you're leaning back, slowly begin to transition yourself all the way back up, back up. Stand up on top of both knees here. Spread the knees out about the width of the sit bones, tuck the toes underneath the feet. And then from here on the inhale, reach those arms all the way up. Twist to the right on the exhale, right arm back, left arm forward. Take the right hand, place it on top of your right heel. Take the left arm and reach out all the way up and back, coming into a one arm camel pose, taking your chest now, rotating it up towards the sky. Come back to the twist facing the right on an inhale. Turn forward on the exhale. Both arms up to the sky, inhale. Twist to the left on the exhale. When you're ready, left hand onto that back heel. Your right arm reaches up. And then you're lengthening that tailbone down towards the heels. You take your navel, your lower abdominals, and you're rotating that upward towards your chest. So you're long as you can be in the low back, the lumbar spine. Back to the twist facing the left on the inhale. Turn forward on the exhale. Both arms up on the inhale. Hands to the ground on the exhale. Cross the legs behind you. Come down onto your sit bones. Bound angle pose. Soles of the feet together. Knees open out. Take an inhale. Tall to the chest. And then exhale, fold over and down. Several breaths there. Of course, the heart is the center. So many benevolent qualities: compassion, kindness, generosity. And these acts of generosity and kindness and unconditional love are incredibly powerful. There's the story of a substitute teacher teaching a 9th grade math class, and he was having a hard time getting them to listen. So he stopped teaching. He wrote everybody's name up on the whiteboard. He had everybody get out pieces of paper and write down each name. And he said, next to each name, I want you to write what you really like about that particular person. What is their best quality? What do you feel grateful for about that person? And at the end of the exercise, he collected all the pieces of paper, put them in a safe spot. And many months later it passed, and he was back substituting for that same class, and the same thing happened again. He stopped what he was teaching. And he handed the pieces of paper out to all the students in the class. So each student had many, many numerous qualities that their classmates had written that were positive about them. Several years went by, and one day the substitute teacher got a phone call. And this lady had called to inform this teacher that her son had recently died while fighting overseas in Iraq. And inside his pocket was this note with all the qualities of his classmates. And that note was so cherished by him that he carried it with him into combat, even to the last day of being alive. We never know the impact that we can have on others. A simple smile, a simple thank you, and how incredibly impactful that can be and how that can touch the heart. From here, slowly ease your way all the way back up to seated. Bring the hands to the outer knees, close the knees together, extend those legs straight out in front of you. And then reach both arms all the way up to the sky, inhale. And then seated forward fold on the exhale, the perfect counter pose to every backward bend that you've done within this class. So let's be here for a good minute and a half or so, a good 90 seconds, just long enough to get into the connective tissues across the whole entire backside of your body. Each inhale pulling the spine out a little bit further, and each exhale dropping the chest down a little bit deeper. Great Buddhist nun Pema Chodron says, in your practice, work on bringing kindness to yourself. And then when you finish your practice and you step out into the world, allow that kindness to flood out into the world. Helen Keller said, kindness is the language the deaf can hear and the blind can see. And it originates from the heart. In yoga, the heart is also said to be the home of the Atman, the home of the soul. This is where our soul resides. Unfortunately, in our society, so many of us are cut off from this connection of the heart. Sometimes when we open up that physical heart, it also opens up past emotions. Sometimes people say, Travis, it freaked me out. All of a sudden I started crying or laughing or having some sort of emotional release. I got really angry or rageful. This is just part of the practice. This happens as we dig into the tissues of the body. Anything that's gotten frozen and stuck and locked in there, and we start releasing it out. Sometimes this happens when you get a really deep massage as well. There's a release with it. And these releases are incredibly therapeutic and incredibly cathartic. So if that ever happens to you, instead of resisting it or stuffing it back inside of you, just breathe through it and just let it release. Just let it release, and you'll feel so much lighter after that happens. People will be able to see it on your face and be like, man, what happened to you? You look so happy. You have such lightness about you. Take a last couple breaths there. Good. Slowly ease your way all the way back up, back up. Now from here, bring your hands up to the ground right behind your hips. Spread the hands out about shoulder width apart. Point the toes forward and downward as you inhale. And then lift your butt off the ground on the exhale, upward facing plank pose, which is the opposite of what you just did. So now instead of stretching the posterior side, you're stretching the anterior, the front side. Palms strong, Front body opens up. Take a big inhale. And then exhale over slow. Hips all the way down to the ground. Good. Bend the knees, feet flat on the floor. Hands can stay where they are behind you. And then lean back into the hands. Lift your legs up into the air. Keep the butt on the ground though. And lift the legs up into the air. So we're going to set up for what we call leg lifts. Inhale, lower the heels down. And then exhale, lift the legs back up, exhale. Good, inhale, lower the legs. And then exhale, lift the legs back up. Inhale down. And then exhale, legs up. So keep the chest up. And inhale, legs down. Exhale up. Oh, that's the movement he's talking about. Good, inhale, lower the legs down. Can you get a little clearer, Travis? Exhale, back up. 2 more. Inhale down, exhale up. So you're looking for it in the lower abdominals. Inhale down, and then exhale up. Now hold there, reach the arms straight out in front of you, and then both pump. Inhale, lower halfway down, and then exhale, rise up for 1. 4 more. Inhale, little tummy straight. Exhale, rise up for 2. I got your back. Inhale down, exhale, get up for 3. Yeah, it helps, doesn't it? Inhale down. Exhale up 4, 1 more, inhale down, exhale up 5, now hold there, last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower slowly all the way down to your back. Take a big inhale through the nose, and out the mouth, exhale, let it go. Good, you guys, reach the hands forward, grab your shins, draw your knees into your belly, into your torso. Move your lower back, a little gentle rock, side to side. Plant the feet down into the ground, about the width of the hips. Slide the heels in towards the sit bones. And then bridge pose, press down to the feet, lift those hips up. Scoot the right and left shoulder underneath the upper back. Find the hand variation that feels right for you, whether you're interlacing the fingers, whether you're grabbing the backs of the feet, or if your shoulders are broad and tight, you can always grab the outer edges of your yoga mat, sending that breath down into the belly, letting the belly balloon and expand. Letting the belly deflate and contract. Feeling that expansion and that contraction of the breath, just like we have the expansion of daytime and nighttime. The rhythm of the seasons. And ultimately, when we sync up our individual rhythm with the universal rhythm, then we're on to something very powerful. Instead of being disconnected to those universal rhythms, this is what Ayurvedic medicine is all about. Feel free to stay in bridge, or if you want to come into upward bow, shift the hands back by the ears, fingers face forward, get a good grip. And then when you're ready, come all the way up, upward facing bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward bow, sometimes known as wheel pose. Wherever you're at, take the last 5, 4, you want to come up onto the tips of the toes for 3, expand a little bit more for 2, take 1 last inhale to flower open, and then exhale over slowly all the way down to the ground. Grab the shins, draw the knees back into the belly. In India, they say no mud, no lotus. You can't have the beauty of the lotus flower without the mud. The challenges, the adversity that we move through is what allows us to flower open, which allows us to find beauty, to find grace. From here, place the right ankle on top of the left knee, left thigh. Thread the right arm down through the legs. Both hands will grab the left shin. Thread the needle pigeon. And then we'll lift that left leg straight up to the sky now. And then you can grab the back of your left hamstring or left knee. Good, and then take both arms and slide that underneath your right leg, right calf. And then lower your left leg down towards the mat. Using your biceps, begin to lift your chest, begin to lift your head up towards that inner right calf, right knee. So a little floor pigeon pose, stretching deep into that right hip. Just get in there, give it all one last little gentle squeeze. And then softly release the head down, release the arms, and then Apanasana, bend the knees back into the belly. And then left ankle on top of the right knee, right thigh, thread the needle pigeon, left arm slips down through the legs. Take a few breaths there in that first variation. Extend the right leg up towards the sky. Either grab that right hamstring or even the back of the calf, the heel. Slide both arms underneath that left leg, left calf.